I wanted to talk about a quote in the Athens Banner Herald from Mike Bobo. Make sure you're going over to the Banner Herald and reading Mark Weiser's story. Here's what Mike had to say in, I think it was in 2020, about the facility improvements at Georgia versus the time that Mike was there. And let's keep in mind that he took the Colorado State job in the winter going into the 15 season. So he was not around from 15 until really kind of now. So this is what Mike had to say in 2020. He said, "It looks different, but that's the way things go. When change happens, the guy that comes in gets a lot of the things that maybe you wanted as a previous staff. I'm happy Kirby got those things and those resources and put himself in position to be one of the top programs in the country." Look, Mike has been around the block for a long, long time at Georgia. He first got there in 1993. And we've seen a lot of change at Georgia. I'm going to talk about all of that and more, give you some perspective you're probably not going to get anywhere else. Make sure that you're ordering DAWGSTRUCTION. It's right down below, 80 pages, images you're not going to see anywhere else. You want to make sure that you're getting this book. It's a critically important part of your championship celebration. Make sure you're getting DAWGSTRUCTION. Listen to the stories, see the pictures. The link is right down below. Mike got to Georgia in 1993, coming out of Thomasville. I don't know if it was Thomas County Central or Thomasville. Everybody, just cut me some slack on that deal. He was in the Thomas County, Thomasville area. Anyway, and he got to Georgia, and this is back when the football team stayed at McWhorter Hall. Okay, by the tennis courts. This is a long time ago in a land far, far away. By the time Mike left, Georgia's athletic budget was $40 million. It was about $39.9 million in 1999. It's $180 million right now. The East Campus Village didn't exist. Sanford Stadium has had two huge changes in that time. They've added a third deck on the side opposite the Sky Suites, and they've added a giant recruiting lounge and reconfigured the bridge end zone to where I mean, that is a wonderful part of what Georgia has done, is made the bridge, you can just walk right in. I mean, that was a brilliant stroke right there. And just tying it all together, $60 million, you can do a lot of stuff. They didn't have that kind of stuff when Mike was around. That's kind of his point, was that by 2010, I think it was, the new football facility that just recently was knocked down, so only made it about 9 years, was brand new. But they were doing stuff in a backwards way at the time. I mean, Damon Evans was not a good athletic director as it related to vision, and so forth. I mean, put $30 million into a basketball facility when basketball is like fourth fiddle at Georgia for men's basketball. It was men's basketball and it was gymnastics and men's and women's basketball. And honestly, it should have been something that they did, but not the way they did it. I mean, that money should have gone into football. Okay, that is your core business. With that said, the indoor practice facility, the indoor practice space was non-existent. Okay, it was a joke. So that's one thing that Mike was talking about. They finally get the indoor practice facility thanks to Billy Payne and his father, um, or at least that's who it's named after. And you know, so much of what Mike and Mark Richt, etc., wanted did not happen. Now, it may have not happened because of X or Y or Z, but it didn't happen. And then, I mean, honestly, part of it was that, oh man, I could tell so many stories right now. I'm not going to, though. Part of it was that they didn't believe in Mark Richt. The powers that be did not believe in Mark Richt the way they needed to in order to win. I remember, I'll go into detail about some of this stuff some other time. Sock audit. Um, you had a lot of stuff that just didn't happen, but Mark didn't make it happen either. So there's it's both things. Having been on a board of trustees for 9 years, you need institutional buy-in or you will not win. Not in a way that you really need to. And in this league, you're going to have to convince people what you need. Now, I've heard a lot of different stuff through the years from people who I believe and people who are more than qualified to explain to me what happened in that time. I think Mark should have been more forceful about what he wanted. Um, Kirby Smart did not give them any choice and made it known that they were going to have to do these things in order to have success. And another person I'm thinking about right now, I'm not going to name names. That's what Dog Post's premium service is for. And even then, I don't name names sometimes. One person, I've told this story a couple times, was saying at the time they weren't sure, they didn't know quite if all Kirby was sort of demanding was necessary. And then they realized that it was, and they got out of the way. They tried to help instead of wondering was this something that was necessary. They got out of the way. Uh, Not only do you need to get out of the way, you need to get out of the way, get behind, and start pushing, start helping with going a particular direction. Kirby Smart can't do everything by himself. He is not a king. He needs an athletic director. He needs someone who will raise. You need development. You need a president that will go out and help you raise money. Um, that's what the point is with all these things. I don't think that was something that was really strong at Georgia for an extended period of time. It was dysfunctional when Damon Evans was the athletic director. That was bad. There was a lot of bad morale at the time. And honestly, I think he got the job too early. I think if he were older, he would have done a better job. If he had more experience as an athletic director, that probably would have been better. But at the time, the powers that be were so eager to get Vince out of there, and it was time for a change. But they were so eager to get Vince out of there without really doing it the right way. Um, I just think that wasn't handled well. And I know some of the stuff that happened with Damon, and I know that he was attempting to do the right thing, but so often it just didn't go well. And the there are a slew of problems here. This is not exclusively Damon Evans' problem or fault or whatever, but Georgia was not doing what it needed to do to win. The advocacy that should have been there for football was not there the way it should have been. I mean, Mark should have been more of an evangelist for his program than he was. That's my take. I would tell him that. I don't have a problem saying that. I'm not going to call him and bother him with that, but I'm just saying he should have been more involved. So anyway, really sidetracked, a lot of inside baseball here. Make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION. I mean, this is the sort of stuff that we write about, like really detailed things. But um, it's not surprising that Georgia's done what they've done. When you go to Kentucky, you see how nice Kentucky is now. You go to Carolina, you see what they've built. Just go around the league. I mean, some of us do, and it is a noticeable difference. South Carolina from the year 2000 to today. They had a long way to go, and they've made up a lot of ground. Kentucky is one of the nicest places to go. Arkansas, extremely nice facilities. So Georgia was competing with Alabama. I guess Florida, who is far too far behind. That's not going to get better unless they really commit to win. And even then, I don't know. So what Mike is saying here has a lot of I mean, that is the truth. And I would also add that Georgia should have been more proactive in selling Georgia, and it's possible that Mark Richt could have just retired, or however you want to put it. But for too long, Georgia did not truly try to win. They are now, and they have. Now, I'll say this too: you got to translate that to other sports as well. Men's basketball should win a national championship in the next 15 years. And I'm looking dead in the camera saying that as serious as possible. Yes, it should win a national championship in the next 15 years. There's no explanation why they should not. There's no excuse why they should not. Period. That's all there is to it. The other sports, I mean, they win national championships. Men's tennis, gymnastics, they've got their crowns. Soccer should be better, but these are all track and field is winning national championships. So what they've done at Georgia in football should be applied to basketball. Men's basketball is a knife fight right now in the SEC, and Georgia needs to be better at that. And what's happening right now is not working. But what Mike's saying is exactly correct. And, you've got to have full buy-in from the administration, because without the administration, the athletic department, your president selling it, the donors are not going to buy. They are not going to donate. They are not going to do it. I know it because I've sat there and watched it at Coker, where I was an undergrad and was on the board. So I get it. And you've got to have complete buy-in. And only when you do you give yourself a chance to win. That's what Mike Bobo was talking about. Go to read it in the Athens Banner Herald. Make sure you're getting DAWGSTRUCTION down below. We'll see you over on the website. Thanks for watching.